All right, guys, this is going to be an overview of the layout. Turn this down so y'all can hear what I'm about to say. This is a complete overview of the layout. Um, I meant to do this the other day after I had completed laying the track down, and I apologize. So right now we're going to go over this whole layout so y'all can get a great understanding of what's going on. Where to begin? Well, we got to begin on the outside, the closet branch. The closet branch is my point-to-point on this layout. The only part of this layout that goes in circles is inside the plant, which is this main that goes all the way around here. It goes all the way around. It's the bottom track. It goes all the way around, and it's very vital to the whole plant operations. The closet branch is my point-to-point. The closet branch starts right there, where that switch is, right over the scale trains tank car. That is the juncture to go to the closet branch. And it's the only way to go. There's no way in, no way out. That's the only way. And it takes you all the way around. And it is the inside parallel track. And it goes all the way around. It goes behind the wash rack. And then there's a switch up there that goes the siding when we bring in the train or bring in the inbound train for the closet branch. There we'll uncouple and we'll do a runaround. But what y'all saw the other day is I used the GEVO and the service train, and they did both of the switching in and out of the plants. They did a team job, which is pretty common. It's nothing wrong with doing a team job so you can hurry up and get the job done. But it continues and it dead ends at this chemical plant facility for the tank cars. When they switch out these cars, they switch out the cars. Majority of them will come over there to the siding for outbound. Now we won't do all the cars at one time. We'll do one day and then the next day because it's a 2-day job. So when that is done, they will grab the train and bring it around. They'll make a trip all the way around, back the way they came. And then right where that Canadian National engine is, they would come up a little bit more, uncouple, and drag in the clear and spot themselves right there on the other side of that Union Pacific, on that GEVO, which is part of D yard. They will spot there, and then that GEVO, which will not be there, it'll be on the other end. They will grab the train and take it all the way around until they come to C yard, which is this open track here for this inbound train. I will try to keep this track open so when the inbound train come in, that's where we'll spot it. We'll do a run around, drag up, grab the cars, drag up, and then set them in these two tracks here, which is part of C yard. And as you can see, it's full. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, about almost 31, 32 cars can fit into C yard alone, which is pretty good. All right. Once that is done, that engine will sit there and wait for the next outbound. All right. It won't go anywhere. It'll just sit there. It'll come off the D yard track and then drag up and sit right there. All right. Then the yard crew or the service crew for the plant, they would come and grab the cars for the wash rack. That's their first priority, is get the cars ready for the wash rack. All right. They would grab the wash rack cars, take them with them, and then switch out the wash rack. Take the wash rack cars that's going to 4Rail. They'll set them back over here in the C yard for the time being. They'll set them on the inbound track or the main, which is on the other side there. There are two mains in this whole plant. We have the inside main that goes all the way around the front of the layout, and then we have the outside main, and that is that main that goes all the way around. It goes all the way around. It goes into D yard. It goes to the back side of D yard, and it ties in on the other side, right over there where that blue engine is, and it continues. And then there's a switch that goes to the back side of A yard where we can spot the cars from the back side. So that's pretty simple there. So once we get the cars settled, we spot the cars in the wash rack. We'll go to 4Rail. We'll switch out, grab the cars out of 4Rail. Whatever needs to be taken out, we'll take them out, but we will do this move first. We'll do the back side of 4A. We'll pull those cars out first, and then we will grab the rest of the cars. Once we do that, we'll shove down, do a runaround, set the 4A cars on the bottom, and then shove it in the clear. The next, I stand corrected. Once we do that runaround, we'll set those A cars on the bottom, come back up here, take the cars around to A yard, and we'll set them in A yard, which is what we got over there. Everything from 4Rail is on that first track, which goes all pretty much good ways into the yard. Then, once we do that, we'll grab the cars that's going to 4Rail. We'll grab the cars that's going to 4Rail, drag up the ones on A side. We'll do that runaround for A side, back the cars into A side, and then come in and then shove these cars where they need to be. I did a video on this the other day, so y'all pretty much watch that video. You got an idea of what's going on. All right. The next thing we do is we grab our cars for the plant, the inside plant, which will be the Mariani hoppers and the resin hoppers to be loaded, which are the empty ones. There's one right there, and there's actually those are sitting on the curve going into the plant. We'll grab all we need. We'll grab the the other Mariani hoppers. We'll bring them around. We'll bring them in, and then we'll shove to spot. We'll switch out the two cars and set those three in. We'll pull those two cars and those three cars. We'll pull the 5 cars and put the other Mariani cars in there. Whatever is empty and whatever is loaded, we'll take it over there to the yard, as you can see over there in A yard. Everything that is loaded from the plant goes to A yard for the outbound. All right. Once everything is out, and then we shove to spot what's in, we'll take the cars over here. We'll set them to A yard. The next day or the next morning, we will prepare the outbound switch list. The outbound switch list, it consists of what's in A yard. We'll take those cars, drag up, drag all the way around. We'll drag, hit the switch, and then we'll go into D yard. We'll go to the backside main, and we'll go all the way around. Once we get up here, we're in D yard. And then we'll start switching out the outbound, build the outbound train. Not every car is going to go on the outbound train, because we only got a limited space for the siding, and we can only carry 15 to 16 cars. So our outbound train will only consist of 15 to 16 cars coming out for the outbound train. Now we can take every car out of A yard up to D yard, but since we don't have that much space, so we're only going to take what we need for the outbound up there. So not every car, like I said once again, not every car in A yard that's considered for outbound is going up there. It probably go the next day or the next outbound shift for that train, next train. So once we do that, we'll grab the train, we'll drag it up, we'll shove it in the clear down there over the juncture. We'll uncouple, and then the Canadian National will back up, grab the train, and take off for the outbound branch, the closet branch. And then we'll set it on the siding, and then we'll set the next cycle. And that's pretty much it on this layout. It's not a lot of switching involved in this. I wanted to try to make this layout a little bit small on the switching, but as you can see, there is a lot of rail cars on this layout. There's 88 tank cars. There will be 88 tank cars on it. I take that back. There will be 90 tank cars on this layout. I just ordered 2 more. Maybe 91. I just got another one. So by the end of the week, we'll have 91. By Wednesday, we'll have 91 tank cars on this layout. 91. Plus the hoppers. So we got 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We will have a total of 117 cars on this layout. Majority of them tank cars. Every time I get a tank car, I take a hopper off. The only hoppers that will be left on here, the resin plant will no longer be on here once I hit 100 tank cars. Those hoppers will be gone. The hoppers that I will want on here, I'll just converge them to the Mariani for resin. We probably do liquid foam, make liquid foam, which is common now. Liquid foam to make foam for ceilings and stuff like that. So we probably do that. So this is pretty much it. This is the full operations of this layout. There's not a lot of spot and drops. The only spot and drops are right here on this part of the middle table and 4 rail. That's it. So the operations are a little bit more simple, and and now since I have a closet point to point on here, it makes it a lot easier to operate and build a switch list. And the switch list won't be that big. 1, 8, 10, 16, 30 spot and drops. There'll only be 30 spots for the cars. That's it. 30 cars coming in a rotation cycle, coming out of the plant. So the reason why I said 30 because it's actually 24, but we got 6 cars going to the wash rack, which is actually not part of the spot of the outbound or anything, but they're just part of the spotting. So I say 30 cars in the spot. So, oh yeah, the brown tank cars go over there in the corner. That's their special spot. And then everything, the 3 small tank cars go to that point building there. Y'all already know the limestone composite are a part of the Mariani. These resin cars will be going to that building there. And then everything that's down on this end of 4 rail, these 6 cars plus 1 up there, 7 cars will be going over here to this chemical plant. So actually every spot on this plant, on this layout, has a spot for the point to point. So I hope this was a little bit more informative and a little bit more self-explained. Um, I wanted to do this so everybody can get a good understanding of how this chemical plant point-to-point layout works. Uh, Doing a city, town, point-to-point, to me, that's a little bit old school now. I just been trying to do this for the past 3 years, this chemical plant point-to-point, and I finally figured it out how to do it. It's not complete prototypical of where I used to work at, but it's close enough. Um, it's something different. It's something different. Um, I know quite a few of them are trying to do a plant point to point, even if it's in plywood, using the the center beam cars and the flat cars, and they using the plant point to point. I thought about doing that, but I was like, man, I'm better off getting tank cars and hoppers and doing this. But if it ever comes down to me doing the wood center beams, this is pretty much the whole. This will be pretty much the same setup, um, except the wash rack. We will use that area there as a maintenance shop for the center beams. If something broke or anything fixed, we'll put them there. So that would be the maintenance shop. Um, like I said, doing a chemical plant or grain facility, this would pretty much be a good idea. This is a layout plan for y'all, to build a layout for grain, saw, auto racks, or uh, containers. I mean, this is pretty much an idea, or a complete, not a complete idea, but something for you to think about. Changing up from doing cities and towns, and do a plant, do a chemical plant, do a wood plant, do a grain plant, do something different. This is something different. I enjoy it. I like it. The next thing is try to detail the track a little bit more, get all the kinks out, and then start laying scenery. But I highly recommend y'all, if you're getting sick and tired of doing the same old city to city, town junk like that, build a plant. Do a wood plant. Do a coal plant. Do uh, a double container plant. Do a tank plant, chemical tank plant, or hopper, grain. Do something different. Change it up a little. Make it more interesting. Because, I mean, sometimes you just have to. And something like this is a little bit more exciting and is a little bit more challenging, because it's, in fact, if you're on a time schedule and I got to do this every other day, I have to do the outbound for the closet branch every other day. So I just did one today. So Tuesday I will have to do another one. But Monday tomorrow morning I will have to do a switch out of loaded and empty cars. And then the next day I will do the second one, but that will be part of the outbound. And then the same here. I would do 4 rail I'll have to do 4 rail every day, somewhat. And then I would do this every other day. Just make a time schedule. I have to adjust the time schedule so that I balance out the cars that's coming from the chemical plant will be able to go to the closet branch and balance it out. So I won't have so many cars going out than cars going in, if that makes any sense. Because be mindful, I got 117 cars on here, only need 30 to go, only need like 3, 5, 8, 10, 17 cars that's going over to the closet branch. So 17 cars are already on spot, 17 cars on their way out the plant. You kind of get the idea of how I have to balance this out. And if so, I'll put 17 cars already in D yard ready to go out. So it's a cycle that I have to figure out. And I will use the board for that. I'm going to do the switch list on the board. I'm going to do something different. I will put all the rail cars up here. I put all the rail cars up here and then mark an X on the car and then mark it where it needs to go from just doing it this way. And I'll explain that soon on how I'm going to do this switch list. Instead of writing out a switch list and all that, I'm going to use this board to make my switch list. All right, so I hope this was informative to all of you. I hope y'all enjoy this video on how I do this layout. And like I said, take the time and think about if you want to change up your layout to something that's a little bit different, a little bit more challenging, because you never know until you expand, broaden your layout. All right. Until then, y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.